so fresh, looking so fresh. When I walk by, breaking their necks. Waiting in line at the team store. Now I'm feeling fly like a condor. Eyes on me when I walk through the door. Man, I wish I bought a couple more. Cause I really love my city. It was worth every penny. If it were at my show, then I know they gon' tip me. Think I might add a couple patches. If you think it's ugly, you capping. Now my whole outfit matching. Never going out of fashion.
What a night that was, huh? Padres, they are back in this series. This is an entirely different series now. Series tied at 1. Padres, they absolutely crush, stomp, whatever word you want to use. They smash the Dodgers tonight. 10-2 was the final. And really, it was 1 run. Muncy hit a homer off of Alec Jacob late, but I mean, pretty much all the Dodger fans had already left, and they were sitting in traffic because the Padres shut them up. Dodger fans absolutely embarrassed themselves tonight. We will get to that. If you want to join the show, click that link pinned up at the top of the chat. I will hopefully do a better job of getting to the comments tonight. But yeah, what a win. Darvish was sensational. I know that there were times where it was a sticky situation, base runners on, and it was a hard hit ball to first base, and he got lucky there. Or the Jurickson Profar robbery of Mookie Betts on the homer. Like, oh, well, he gave up a homer to Betts, but it ends up not being a homer. But it was, he gave up a homer. But what I care about was the result. And Darvish not only went 5 innings or, kept the Padres in the game, he did much better than that. He goes 7 innings, gives up just 1 earned run, 3 hits, only walks a couple of guys. I don't care that he only struck out 3 guys. I couldn't care less how many guys he strikes out. The fact that he gave the Padres length, Suarez doesn't have to be used yet, still hasn't been used. Jason Adam got the night off. Jeremiah Estrada, Adrian Morejon, these big guys in this bullpen got the night off. I was kind of surprised, to be honest, that they went with Tanner Scott there because of how far out of reach that game was for the Dodgers at that point in time. But that was wild. Darvish, he is still a stud. I know there were questions going into this about what Darvish was going to give the Padres, and maybe some fans didn't fully believe in Darvish. I was just wondering what we were going to get out of him. I thought that Mike Schilt, if it was going to be a closer game, I thought that he was going to be aggressive with the bullpen. Obviously, it was not that close late in the game, and that's great for us, obviously, so he didn't need to be super aggressive with the bullpen. But let's start off with the Jurickson Profar robbery of Mookie Betts. The troll job on that was absolutely incredible. I knew he caught it. Mookie hits the fly ball to left, and this wasn't just I'm going to jump up on the small wall and catch it as a robbery. No, this was a robbery. He went in maybe 3 rows deep, maybe more than that, multiple rows deep that he went into that Dodger Stadium crowd to snatch that ball back, snatch it back. And there were Dodger fans that were jumping up and down thinking that the ball was out. Joe Davis and in the broadcast, they didn't know that Profar caught it. But if you were watching and you saw Profar jumping up and down and looking back at the Dodger fans, that's not what happens when someone doesn't catch the ball. That's what happens when you hate that other fan base and you want to troll them. And that's exactly what Jurickson did. That was incredible. And then Tatis makes a great running grab later in the game. And then Merrill makes a catch up against the wall. Arise made a diving play in this game. Manny made a great bare hand play. I think it was called safe, but that was still a great effort from him. Like, this defense was spectacular. It was a defensive clinic. And last night, I was talking about this on the show, obviously. The Padres made some of those small mistakes. Manny made an error that he's probably never going to make again in the postseason. That was not going to happen again tonight. I knew that was not going to happen. And this Padres offense, they were going to be able to get to the Dodgers bullpen. The Dodgers bullpen was not going to be as good tonight as they were last night. That just wasn't going to happen. They were fantastic last night. And the Padres were able to take advantage of it. Let's hit on Jack Flaherty as well. What a guy that guy is. Shut up, Jack. Holy cow. I mean, he gives up 4 runs. He strikes out Manny, which I think opponents know how to strike out Manny now, or at least get him out, right? But he strikes out Manny, and he sits there and yells at Manny to go sit down, mother effer. And moments later, Dave Roberts comes out of the dugout and sits down Jack Flaherty in the dugout because his outing was done. His night was done. So that was hilarious. But why, Jack? Why are you talking? Do you not realize that you're a big reason why you were losing at that point in time? And it ended up just getting worse after that. And then he kept yapping. Manny's out there at third base in between innings, and Jack is still yapping at Manny. Like, what are you doing? Why? Is there something that I missed between those guys? Because Manny, I'm pretty sure Manny wasn't talking crap. Jack's the one that started it, and you just expect Manny to sit there and say nothing? So there was that. And I'm going to get to the Profar fan stuff, the Dodger fans. I'm going to get to that here in a second. But just what happened offensively with this Padres team. They absolutely unloaded on the Dodgers. And I know some Dodgers fans are going to say, well, we didn't use all of our best relievers. But I'm sorry, Brazier's one of your best relievers, gave up 2 earned runs. Henriquez is a guy that Dodger fans and the Dodgers were talking about and hyping up. He throws over 100. Yeah, well, he only pitched an inning. He gave up 4 hits, gave up 3 earned runs, gave up a couple of bombs. So I don't want to hear that. Xander, what an effort from him. He hurts his hamstring. That's obviously one of the downers, one of the negative parts of tonight. We'll see what happens there. But that's more of a Kirk Gibson moment than what Joe Davis was talking about on the broadcast last night with Freddie Freeman, who was still able to run. Xander, as he's swinging, you can see he's in pain because he fouled off that pitch earlier in that bat. He's in pain with his hamstring. Then he swings and homers, and in the middle of it, as he's following through, you can see he's in pain, and he's barely able to jog around the bases. So that was an amazing, grit type moment from Xander there. And Padres fans, we can talk about that contract and how long it is and how the end of that's probably not going to look pretty, but I respect Xander so much. And, when he first came here, I was excited about it. And I was like, man, okay, he's a baseball rat, loves the game, and he's going to be a good leader. Like, this is a baseball guy. And I think that fits in this Padres clubhouse. So I love that part of it. And now he is performing in the big moments in the postseason. So great job from him. And then Fernando with that homer in the first inning, just right off the bat, great start there. And it was similar to yesterday. David Peralta makes it 3-0, him homering. And I said on the pregame, maybe David Peralta is one of those guys that comes up big. And I was totally fine with the lineup change because Solano had 1 hit in the postseason. You like the matchup with the lefty up? Yeah, I'm totally good with that. And David Peralta got the choo-choo train going there in that second inning. Dodgers made it 3-1 on the sac fly from Gavin Lux. Jackson Merrill, though, great job from him with that RBI single, just taking it the other way. And then in the 8th inning comes and he homers. And this was right after, a couple outs after, Manny gathers the team. He huddles the team together as the team captain. I don't know what the message was. And if I was Manny, I wouldn't tell the media what the message was because that's none of our business. That's not the fans' business. Keep it within you. You can tell us after the postseason or after the series is over, but keep it there. Keep it with you guys. If that's what's going to keep you going, go ahead. But he gathers everyone together, and then Merrill hits that bomb. Xander homers on a bad hammy, and then Higgy in the 9th inning homers. And I saw something that he has the same amount of postseason home runs as Mookie Betts does now. Higgy. Like, that's crazy. Maybe it's not that crazy when you actually watch Mookie Betts in the postseason. He kind of folds a little bit. But, man, the Higgy trade. I know Michael King. Now, Michael King's waiting for game 3. 7 shutout innings in that Braves start that he had in game 1. And now this whole series has changed. I'll get to you guys in the green room here. You guys are waiting. I see you. But I just want to get off on my tangents here, and then I'll let you guys go. But this is an entirely new series now. Yes, game 1, that absolutely sucked. And going into game 2, it was like, oh, man, yep, Padres must win game here because you go down 0-2, you're not going to win that series probably. I mean, sure, you could take it one game at a time, but that's not going to look great. So today was so big. And now they win this game, and they have a day off. They're going to have a really fresh bullpen for game 3. They've got the guy that went 7 shutty going in game 3. They've got the pitching advantage there. They're going to be back at home after what happened here tonight with the Dodger fans and all of that. I mean, the Dodgers, this is probably exactly what they didn't want to have happen. Where the Padres now, they can look at themselves as, yep, we're hated, right? They can take on the villain role almost. I know they're going to be back at home, obviously, where they're not going to be villains, but they can take that on because of what just happened at Dodger Stadium. And now the Padres have the home field advantage. Home field advantage is gone for the Dodgers. I know they have a possible game 5, but there's 3 games left in the series, and the Padres have 2 of those. And they could go win the series at Petco Park and not even have to go back up the 5 to Dodger Stadium. So this whole series is flipped. We got Michael King for game 3, fresh bullpen. We've got the advantage of the home crowd, which is an advantage. Just go watch that Brave series again. It's going to be shaking at Petco Park. I'll be there for game 3. It is going to be shaking. I cannot wait. And this whole series is flipped. Who knows, game 4, are the Dodgers going to be throwing Landon Knack out there? And then we're going to have Martin Perez? I'll take that too. And then the bullpen that we have, the offense that we have. I mean, we just showed it tonight. So, yeah, I mean, this is an entirely different series. It has turned into a best of 3 series. And if you're a Padre fan and you don't feel good right now, I don't know what to tell you. Because game 1 for me feels like such a long time ago. It's just different. I'm not the biggest believer in momentum. Like momentum, show me your next day's starting pitcher. Show me that starting pitcher's performance, right? Well, we got Michael King. So, we can believe in that a little bit, right? But yeah, Petco Park, be loud coming up for game 3. Let those Dodgers players hear it. Obviously, don't go over the line like those Dodger fans that embarrassed themselves tonight. But make it that home field advantage for the Padres. Cannot wait. This is an entirely new series. And what I do want to do is talk about the Dodger fans here for a second. Before I get to the live, those that are here in the green room here that want to come on the show, I will get to you here in a second. Dodger fans, you absolutely embarrassed yourselves tonight. You showed why you're the absolute worst. Okay? Because San Diego fans, when we're losing, would we be throwing stuff at Mookie Betts in right field? Or whoever's in left field? Would we be throwing stuff at Teoscar Hernandez? No. Dodger fans are who do that. That is so embarrassing what happened. Where you're throwing baseballs at Jurickson Profar. You've got water bottles on the field near Fernando Tatis Jr. You have your opposing manager, so Mike Schild has to go out there and, tell Dodger fans to screw off in the outfield. You have your own security have to guard around Padres outfielders because they don't want the Padres outfielders to get hurt. They want to make sure that Padres outfielders are safe. Do you know how embarrassing that is? And this wasn't in a regular season game that nobody's watching. This was in front of a national TV audience. Everybody is watching and just saw how bad of fans you guys are. And let me be clear, because I know not all Dodger fans are like this. So to those that are not like this, I'm not talking about you. Thank you for, being a good, normal human being. But for Dodger fans to embarrass themselves like that, to throw things at the opponent, that is classless, that is embarrassing. You should be ashamed of yourselves. To do that in a postseason game, in any circumstance. Would you be doing that if you were face-to-face with Jurickson Profar on the street? You probably wouldn't. But you feel you bought a ticket, so you feel like you can do anything. You just feel like you can do anything. And that's not right. And that's incorrect. Hopefully those fans all got thrown out of the stadium, and they probably all left early anyway because you guys got freaking blown out. But that's what you deserve after what just happened there. You absolutely embarrassed yourselves. And so Padres fans, if anyone at Petco thinks about doing that, please don't do that. Because guess what? That would make it a reflection of our fan base. You're going to have a bunch of fans say, oh, look at Padres fans. Do you want that? You don't want that. Do not stoop down to the Dodger fan level. Don't do that. So if you're at the game, Keep it with the Padres. Give the positive energy to the Padres. Don't make it about the opponent. Don't stoop down to that level because that's embarrassing. That is absolutely embarrassing what happened tonight. Literally, security had to surround Jurickson Profar. Security was around Fernando Tatis Jr. The entire Padres starting lineup was out there on the infield or shallow outfield grass surrounding each other because of what Dodger fans were doing. That's embarrassing. So I hope that never happens again. But this is sadly who some Dodger fans are. This is who they are. When things aren't going well, they can't take it. They want to dish it out, but then they can't take it. And so you wonder, oh, it's not a rivalry, but we're going to throw crap at you. Really? Okay. And if anyone wonders why San Diego hates LA, well, here's part of it. This is like human being stuff. This isn't Padres, Dodgers, San Diego, LA. This is, you don't do that to another human being. You don't throw something at another human being. I don't care if you bought a ticket. I don't care if you spent $100, $200. I don't care how much money you spent to go be a fan at that stadium. That doesn't give you a right to do that. It just doesn't. So that's what I've got on that. Absolutely embarrassing. Dodger fans embarrassed themselves tonight. And again, that's some Dodgers fans. I don't want to paint it as everyone because I know that some Dodger fans are probably pissed off at what happened there tonight. But that was embarrassing. All right. I think that's what I wanted to say tonight. Great job from this offense, just tacking it on, using that as fuel. I love the Manny speech. And those that say, oh, Manny's not a leader, that was a tough night for them. But yeah, let's get to those that are waiting here. I'm going to get to the chat, obviously. If you want to join the show, click that link pinned up at the top of the chat. Let's go to Stat Nerd Baseball here first.
What's up, guys? Be back.
Calm me down a little bit, but yeah, I got pissed off tonight. Sorry, but go ahead.
Nah, man, you're fine. I understand. Like you were saying, it's a basic human thing. Like you're not really like. Furthermore, I want to bring this point up that I just thought of while you were saying that. These people paid for that water or those beer bottles that they're throwing on the field. Like that's very just immature, irresponsible behavior, and like just don't do that. Like it's not even like you said, it's a human thing. It's not a baseball thing.
Yeah.
You know, like it's the reason people aren't supposed to do that. Anyways, but the game itself, finally people are saying, you know, this is the team the Padres can beat. And the thing is, this game is kind of an outlier for them because they weren't really known for hitting a ton of homers in a game this season.
Mm-hmm.
So they can show that they can win like in many different ways. You know, there's no one set formula to winning. Darvish going 7 was the biggest thing in this game.
Yeah.
Sorry if I keep pausing in between. I'm a little tired, man, but I'm glad they won wholeheartedly. Like this is the kind of game you're expecting. Darvish, this is his third outing with the Padres, going 7 innings in a playoff game. I think 3 of his 4 or 5 playoff starts with the Padres have been at least 7 innings, which is a really big thing. I know Sarah Langs tweeted something about it, and I was actually looking for that number as soon as she tweeted. I was like, okay, thank goodness someone's out there with that number. And Tatis, you know, owns Dodger Stadium. Well, that's to be expected at this point.
Continues, and they keep pitching to him. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, like everyone's saying going into the game, oh yeah, don't pitch to Ohtani and everything. Don't pitch to him with runners on.
Yeah, you can get him out.
More aggressive at the plate without runners on is something I've noticed like over the last few games and just all season that the Padres have played the Dodgers. There's a snippet out there that said like when he had runners on, he was a lot more aggressive because he was on the Angels and he felt he was the one who had to do everything. I don't know. I think I read that in the Orange County Register or something. That was a bizarre story. And then you watch him in the games like 2 weeks ago or last week when they're playing for the division, and you see that. And then going into this game, it was just like, well, yeah, I could definitely understand the aggressiveness when he, you know, no one's on base against when people are on base.
Yeah, for sure. And he crushed that ball tonight, by the way. The final at bat against Darvish absolutely crushed that ball. I'm kidding, people that weren't watching. It was a dribbler to Darvish. But Yeah, you can get him out. Like throw pitches up and in, breaking balls where he's again like anxious to swing. You can get him out. It's just in game one, throw him a fastball that he can hit a mile, and he'll do that if you throw him the right pitch for him in the
Yeah,
right
like
spot. And Cease, to me, he just didn't get that ball high enough. But tonight, Darvish did a fantastic job at attacking Shohei.
yeah, Darvish and then Tanner Scott going 3 fastballs up, up,
Yeah.
up. That's a really good way to just kind of neutralize that uppercut swing. Because if he gets his hands, even if he gets his hands in, he's probably popping that up, or it's going to be a fly out.
Yeah, it's
So,
hard. It's hard to lay off that up pitch because you think it looks really good and you can smash that, but sometimes it's going to move quick on you. And yeah, Tanner Scott is nasty. We already knew this. He is the guy. He's the guy that the Padres are going to go to get Shohei out in a big spot. Now tonight, obviously, it was a blowout, but yeah, like he is the guy. We need Shohei to be out. Then you're going to go to Tanner Scott in a big situation. And so I'm curious to see, that next big situation that comes up and what happens next.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think we're in a good spot with Michael King going in game 3. Yeah, game 3.
Yeah.
I think we're in a good spot with Michael King going in game 3 because when he plays the Dodgers at Petco, like if you look at the numbers there against the numbers, in LA, significantly better. Didn't he strike out like 12 earlier in the season when the Padres played in LA against the Dodgers?
There was
like
one. There was one
or something.
I forget if it was in LA, but he did go 7 innings, I think, in one of his starts this year.
That was at Petco.
That was at
That's
Petco.
the one
Yeah.
I'm referring. It was the day that Arise walked off in his first Petco game, but I don't remember how many punches he had, but it was definitely double digits because MLB actually posted about it. Imagine that.
Yeah. Exactly. When you have such a good game that the Padres did, they have to post about it. So maybe that's what the Padres have to do is they have to smash the Dodgers like this. So there are no Dodger highlights. And
but at the
it
end of
has
the
to
game,
be all about the Padres. For me, I don't care. Like
true.
I want wins, but
yeah,
it's just it's funny to me how much they ride the Dodgers. And it's funny when they can't do that for a night.
The weirdest thing for me is that in this game, from the parts I heard from the broadcast, it was mostly Smoltz doing it, and that's weird to me because he has no connection whatsoever.
Well, at the end of the game, I don't know if you heard this, but they were already like, what are some positives for the Dodgers here? Oh, they didn't have to use their best relievers. There's a day off. If didn't Smoltz say something like if you're gonna lose like this, like just trying to make it sound good that no, the Dodgers are fine, and they could be fine.
What? I'm sorry.
But
if you're gonna lose like this, no, that's
that was
not
pretty
a
much
lot.
how he was. That's pretty much how he was putting it because you don't have to
flat
use
out
your high leverage
humiliation in front of your home crowd. That's the one thing that as a team you never want to do. It doesn't matter what level we're at. If you're at Little League, if you're in high school, if you're in college, if you're in the majors, you don't want to get blown out at home. That is the worst feeling ever.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't play a lot of baseball in Little League or high school or whatever, but I was on some teams that got blown out a little bit. So that and getting blown out at home is the worst feeling out there. I had to stop myself so you don't get demonetized. But
appreciate that.
Yeah. But
thank you. Yeah, there's a Profar interview that just came out from MLB Network, which it seems like it's hilarious. So I'm gonna let you go real quick, and then I'm gonna play that, and then I'll get to everyone else here. But thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Man.
Yeah. All right, let's get to this Profar interview. I have not heard this. I literally am just seeing this right now. But this seems like it's hilarious from Profar. Okay, here we go. Greg Amsinger's talking to us.
What took place in left field that made you lose your temper like that?
Just a couple baseball coming my way.
Were you hit with any one of those baseballs?
No, I wasn't hit. But, when you stand there on the field like that, things are throwing off the back of your head, it's a little scary.
Was that the first time someone's thrown something at you? Was anything thrown at you in game one?
This is the second time. I think that the game one, they wanted to do it, but then they were winning, so they stopped. I think if if we were still winning in game 1, they would have done the same.
Hey, Jurickson,
Sore losers.
this is a rivalry, man. This is a true rivalry. But you got to take me back to the catch. Nobody knew you had it except for you and one other guy who tried to take it from you.
I always wanted to do that. That was in my mind. I want to rob a homer, and I did it in the playoff. It was awesome.
And there was one fan who he actually looked at you and said, "Man, that was a great catch. There was a guy you took it from. What were your exchange with him?"
No, I didn't say anything, but I felt something touching the glove, trying to get me out of the way. So I had
well, you're
to,
in the stands. I'd be grabbing your glove.
It felt like an NBA game when you dunking on guys. It felt like that.
It was awesome, man.
Hey, Jurickson, it's Dan. Would you imagine Petco Park is going to be pretty loud on Tuesday night?
I can't wait. But we're not throwing stuff on the field, though. San Diego fans, we don't do that. We just cheer.
Yep. There we go.
I love that. What did Manny Machado say to you guys in the dugout? Because you guys went off with the bats after that.
just stay calm and trying to focus on the game. Not trying to get off the focus of the game and thinking about other stuff. Just focus on the game, and we did.
Jurickson, talk about focusing on the game. Your career has just took off the last few seasons, and coming into this year, nobody really even signed you. So was there a little edge for you?
A little bit, but coming back to San Diego, coming back to a really good team, and Mike Schill, I can really be myself and just play baseball and let my talent play, and it's showing up.
Hey, Jurickson, would it be fair to say that the Dodgers don't like you guys and you guys don't like the Dodgers?
Yeah, so it's still a baseball game, though.
Great answer. Excellent answer. Jurickson Profar, that was intense. We're looking forward to Game 3 in San Diego.
There it is. That was good. That was good stuff. That was a dumb question at the end, though, by Dan Plesac. Yeah, no crap, we hate each other. That's what I would have said. All right, let's get to those who want to join the show. All right, Connor, he is first up here. What's up, Connor? How's it going?
Hey, what's going on, Ben?
Doing
Finally.
well. Much better.
Oh, yeah, much better. And just like we said yesterday, it's got to be those guys, at the lower end of the lineup. Xander Bogaerts, Higgy, even though it wasn't for lead changing, it's still, hey, give us that cushion enough to
David
where,
Peralta.
hey, David Peralta, too, early on in the game. Guys like those help set up for success. And Darvish I think he had 65 pitches going into the 6th inning.
Yeah, something like that. He was very efficient. Yeah. Through 3 innings, I think he was under 40. I know that.
Yeah, it's insane. Darvish, I think it was 14 starts. He had a 2 ERA facing the Dodgers. Tonight, he killed it. Michael King, I feel like he's going to do the same thing at Petco. Like, probably not as great as Darvish. Darvish has that postseason experience. But
Michael King just threw 7 shutout innings in the postseason.
Well, he did. But Michael King he has also performed very well against Dodgers at Petco.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah. So with that, we'll see. Hopefully, I want him to go deep into that game, be efficient with his pitches, not go. Hopefully, be at like 80 pitches by like the 5th or 6th inning.
Yeah.
Because
sure.
I want to help save Tanner Scott, Jason Adam, and Robert Suarez. For the the late end of the game and not have to bring out a bunch of arms that could potentially, unfortunately, Game 1. We saw what happened.
Yeah, I think, and especially because Game 4, it's probably Martin Perez, and then who knows how long he's going to go. It's definitely going to be important, I think, for King to hopefully, go 6+, something like that in Game 3. And obviously what matters the most is just be able to limit the Dodgers, stay in the game. I think we should have higher expectations, though, than just stay in the game, but be a big reason why the Padres win that game coming up on Tuesday. By the way, with Bogaerts, I'm seeing here it is a hamstring cramp. Schilt says they will know more tomorrow. So that's the update there on Bogey. But that was a heck of a moment from him. That homer that he had with clearly the hamstring wasn't feeling well, and he still homered.
Yeah, no, absolutely insane. I'll give all credit there right there to the X-Man. But one thing too is Dodgers fans, thank you for giving us that motivation to absolutely go off in the late stage of the game. Because in all reality, that just fired up the offense. Jack Flaherty fired up Manny Machado, and the other guys out there in the field are like, all right, well, you're out of the game. So let's show you, let's see we'll show you what we can do.
Yeah, Jack, it's one thing if Mookie's yapping or someone like that, but for Jack Flaherty to be yapping, and when he gave up 4 runs and he's standing there in the dugout, and you're in the dugout for a reason, dude, you're still yapping. That was an interesting one there. But yeah, I mean, the Padres, you poked the wrong bear, and they did it multiple times. They did it with Jack Flaherty. They do it with the freaking fans throwing stuff at Profar and Tatis. Like, they keep doing it. And hey, thank you, I guess, because it's helping the Padres. But no, I think this coming up games 3 and 4, obviously the Padres aren't really going to get poked unless it's by the Dodgers literally themselves on the field doing something. It's going to be Petco going absolutely bonkers and a sea of yellow, flags
And gold.
thrown around. That's going to be awesome to see. And they're going to be pumped up by Padres fans. And so that's going to be a nice turn of events because frankly, I'm sick of Dodger fans. I'm tired of it. And hopefully we don't have to go watch another game played at Dodger Stadium the rest of this season.
I'm hoping not. And hopefully, I know you said you're not a big guy on momentum, but honestly, that energy, I feel like the Padres, they're going to carry that into Tuesday, that same energy that they had right there towards the end of that game. They know what they had to do, play good baseball. And the Dodgers, they're probably going to have a workout tomorrow and then hop on the bus down the 405 to the 5.
Yeah, well, they're probably going to have a workout at Petco because who wants to be at Dodger Stadium when you can be at Petco? Why do Dodger fans want to be at Petco all the time? Because look at the environment look at the environment that just happened at Dodger Stadium. Yeah, it's not a surprise why they want to be at Petco, but you're not going to be. It's already sold out. Padres fans, they've already gotten the tickets because we show up for our team. It's not we showed up for the Brave series. It's not because it's the Dodgers. It's we show up for our team, and so yeah, they can watch it from home, and hopefully they're going to be watching a couple of L's come their way, games 3 and 4. But yeah, Connor, thanks so much for the time. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, have a good one. All right, let's go to the next one in line here. SD Kid 1904. We'll go to him. Oh, hang on. Let me get you. If you want your face on, I can have you on. If you don't, that's fine. But what's up, man? You got me? SD Kid 1904. All right, we'll go back to you. Let's go to Vincent. What's up, Vincent? Oh, you're muted. Hold on. Can you unmute? I tried to unmute you. It says I can't unmute. All right, I'll go back to Vincent here. Maybe, Vincent, log off and then come back on and see if it works. Same thing with SD Kid 1904. Let's try Carl here. What's up, Carl?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, I was just making sure. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you? I'm doing much better than yesterday.
Absolutely. I'm fired up. Yesterday was tough for me as a sports fan. So, college football team losing, and then as soon as they get done with their game, I was trying to listen to the Padres game and heard them losing to the Dodgers. But I mean, fired up after tonight though, for sure.
Yeah. It was a wild one. It didn't feel like as long as a game as yesterday, but there was still a lot of action packed into this one for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I missed the first little bit of the game, but once I was able to get home and start watching it, I'm always fired up for Padres games, and especially when they play the Dodgers. I don't think there's any Padres fan in the entire fan base that can stand how the Dodgers act, you know,
Yeah.
and it's more the fans than it is the team. Like, but you have Flaherty who gives up 4 runs tonight, and he's acting like I'm trying not to get you demonetized or thrown off YouTube because I'm fired up. I've always been a San Diego fan, from my childhood, and they're actually winning now. It's
Yeah.
like it's one of those things. It's like when you don't experience success for however many years, and then you start getting there, and you're seeing the talent gap close the past couple years, and it's like we got that team, and I just love how this team is rallying behind each other, like Manny getting together with the team after everybody his entire career says he's a cancer to the locker room and he's just not a good leader and everything like that. We can see in the clips of him gathering the team, that's his message to the team. I mean, obviously, we don't need to know. I don't want to know what was being said, but obviously, it's let's keep fighting for each other because that's what's got us here, you know. And people say, well, the Dodgers they're not the same old Dodgers. They're not the best that they can be because they've got all these injuries and stuff. Padres have went through injuries all year long, just as much as the Dodgers have.
Yep.
I mean, Tatis went on the IL. You had Musgrove and Darvish. I mean, Darvish was gone almost half the season, just about. And
Bogaerts was out for months.
oh yeah, absolutely.
No
And it's
Ha-Seong
like
Kim.
yeah, and it's like we've got the same amount of guys that have been out, and it's about who gets hot at the right time. And I think the Padres have played one of, if not the best, second halves to the season, definitely this year, but probably within the last 5-6 years as well. You
Yeah.
know, so I'm excited. I'm excited for the next 2 games. I think that we've got the team to do it. And being in front of Petco, uh, there's nothing. Obviously, I wish I could get out to a game, but living here in Tennessee, it's impossible for me. But watching on TV, it's like you look and it's like sold out games during a regular season in games that essentially when you got 162, not every game holds the same weight as a playoff game. But the Petco crowds and the San Diego fans have showed up all year, and they're just going to keep showing up.
Yeah.
They're going to keep being loud. They're going to keep showing up for the entire city of San Diego and for this team. And I think the players feed off of that, and that's been huge for them this year.
For sure. Yeah. Carl in Tennessee, Padre fans in Tennessee, stand up. Thanks, Carl. I appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good one. All right, let's try to go to SD Kid 1904 again. We'll see if the issue has been fixed. What's up, man?
Shout out. What's up?
Okay, I got you. Yeah, what's up?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say shout out to Peter, man. We've been having a great team this year. Like great defense today, pitching, everything. Higgy reminds me of like a Schwarber, upgraded Schwarber this year. And I was thinking too, you were talking about the Dodgers fans. And earlier this year they had their parade. So I hope that all that backfires on them.
Yeah. Yeah. The parade, was it down one of the streets around Petco, I think. And they like were bragging about it and how many fans were there, their fan group or whatever they have. Yeah. Not a fan, obviously. Not a big fan of those fans. There are some Dodger fans that are solid human beings, and they're even I see it in the comments like good series, it's going to be tough, respect to the Padres. Like I love that. That's great. I'm totally fine with Dodger fans coming in here and doing that. But it's the hateful messages, it's the throwing things at Padres players where it's like, all right, now you've gone too far. So yeah, Definitely hoping that this series is going to end coming up on Wednesday night, and it obviously is in the Padres' favor.
Yeah, I'm hoping we take the series after these 2 games at home and give them a tough crowd. So
Yeah.
shout out,
All
shout
right.
out SD. It's our time.
Yep. It seems like it. This team's pretty dang special. All right. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Have a good night. All right, Diego, I'm going to get to you, but I'm going to go to Vincent here real quick. Vincent, what's up, man? Hopefully this.
So I have a few things. So one,
Yeah.
I feel like that it was unlawful of those fans to throw things on to the field. I've seen Dodgers fans at Petco. They're cool. There's the occasional ones that do the occasional fight here and there, but they're usually cool. They go there because Petco's a nicer stadium. It's newer than Dodger Stadium. They want to go there to watch the game. And
It's probably got better food.
yeah, and I want your opinion on the whole geolocation thing from the Padres. I'm totally, I have mixed reactions for it. I like it that it's going to be all Padres fans. But then I kind of dislike it because it said South Orange County, and there's Padres fans that live in Brea, East, North Orange County, L.A., L.A., other areas that are not covered by inland. And if they want to go to the game, they'll have to either get friends to purchase the tickets for them or go on the secondary market. And I also think that might be controversial. I think that they should maybe like the last, 3 rows and like the upper deck and like several sections or park in the park, just allow Dodgers fans, but maybe have like some sort of questionnaire thing saying, instead of when you read the terms, like there's something that says I won't do this, like hate speech, throw stuff on the field, all that. And then, maybe allow like 100 Dodgers fans to, the games at Petco, like whether it be just, team officials or player families, or because I feel like it's kind of a little unfair for those teams. And then
Yeah.
the other thing is that the Padres kind of remind me of the 1998 New York Yankees, where Point Loma High School alumni David Wells threw a perfect game that year, ended up beating the Padres, winning the World Series. And then, Dylan Cease threw the no-hitter against the Nationals. Sort of similar story. It wasn't a perfect game, but I feel like they're kind of similar, that the Padres will win the World Series or they'll at least make it to the World Series and do something.
Well, yeah, I hope so. That 98 Yankees team was no joke, though, for sure. I wasn't alive, but I've definitely seen all the stats, and I've definitely relived that as much as I could, even though I wasn't here. What I would say about your first question or your thoughts on that, I understand those being frustrated that don't live in San Diego County or don't live in one of the areas that the Padres listed there. But the Padres season ticket holders, at least for me, speaking for me, my family, half season, we get the opportunity to go to all postseason games. So you add the half season with the other half season for those seats, that takes up double. And then you add that all around the ballpark. And so if all Padres members are getting the opportunity to go, that's a lot of seats already taken. And then they want to give the opportunity to the non-season ticket holder Padres fans. And so they just don't want Dodger fans to be in the stadium, which is totally understandable because they don't want what happened here tonight, and they want the home field crowd. And they know if they were to sell them and just open them up, if Padres fans wanted to go, they couldn't go because Dodger fans would probably snatch them up because there's way more Dodger fans, especially online, that could do that than Padres fans. And they may not go to the game. They can just go resell the tickets. And so I understand what you're saying, but I am totally okay with the Padres doing this because it's home field. They know they're going to sell out even if they do this. They could limit it just to San Diego County and they would still sell out all of these games. And for me, it's just like, this is the home field advantage. The home field team can do whatever they want with the tickets. And I'd rather have it this way than to open it up and have a bunch of Dodger fans in there. And if you do want to go that bad, then you probably would find a way to make it work. I think social media can be a good tool to use to, tweet something out. Hey, Padres fans, if you want to sell your tickets, I'm willing to pay more money even. I want them. And maybe you could work it that way. There's different ways you could go about it. You can go to friends, friend of a friend. There's different ways to go about it. And I believe they did this for the Braves series as well. It's not just a Dodger thing, even though Dodger fans want to feel like they're the most important thing on the face of the planet. It's just what the Padres have decided to do, and I'm fine with it because their priority is the San Diegan Padres fans. And if you live outside of it, yeah, that it stinks. I mean, there's nothing else that I can say, but I'd rather have it be filled with San Diego Padres fans than to open up the risk of other fans coming in.
Yeah, I kind of get where you're going. I just feel like, that they could have, do something like partner with IDEME or some website for fans that, that live in like Riverside or North Orange County that are Padres fans that are not covered by it, because it just says it basically the only other area in California besides San Diego County. It says South Orange County. So if you don't live in any of those areas, I just feel like that they should have something for, the fans that just live outside the border, like, like they could just verify someone, like, they could verify some way, and then they could, at least Padres fans could get access to it. But I kind of get what you're going at, and I kind of like that it's all Padres fans, but I feel like the Padres should at least consider something for next year if they do make it to the playoffs that, allow for some way for those Padres fans who live in those areas that, can go to the game without having to spend 2 times as much on like SeatGeek or StubHub, where that is a problem.
Yeah, no, you make good points. I totally understand that. All right. Thanks, Vincent. I appreciate the time, man. All right. Let's go to Diego. I know he's been waiting really patiently. Thank you so much for waiting, man. What's up?
Hey, man. How you doing? Thank you for having me again. Consecutive night. So in terms of emotions tonight, I mean, I was working, so I had 3 different emotions. I was working, and I had to drive home listening to it. And then, of course, I'm watching the last 3 innings at home. So it's like 3-3-3 or whatever, if you want to call it, innings per wherever I was going. Yeah. Well, first off, I liked how Tatis started the table, solo home run. And I feel like if Profar doesn't catch that Betts ball, there's a little bit of a momentum shift, a little bit. Because I think about how Darvish started game 2 of the NLDS 2 years ago. We got a run, then they got a run. And then they got another run. Like LA got another run. But I just like the fact that it wasn't like last night where we just stopped after a certain point. We just kept going. And the way that we got to their bullpen, Merrill had a great night. And, of course, Tatis, 2-homer night. Bogaerts, cramp, and still homers. So... Yeah. I was like, oh shoot, okay. And then of course we piled it on in the 8th and the 9th, or just the 9th?
It was I think it was the 8th. Yeah, 8th and the 9th. They scored 3 runs in the 8th, 3 runs in the 9th. Had multiple homers. Bogey, Higgy, Tatis, Merrill. Yeah, it was after the whole fans throwing the stuff on the field. Manny brings everyone together in the dugout, and like literally, it reminded me of, I forget the exact team, but just one of those where they literally brought everyone together. I think it might have been the Cubs in the postseason where they were all brought together in the dugout, and there was like a similar shot to that. And then they obviously go on and win in 2016. But like literally, they were all together. Mike Schilt was like in the back of it. It wasn't Schilt leading. It was literally Manny talking. Like, shut up! I am talking here. We're, keeping this here. The main thing is what it seemed like the message was there. And boy, did they respond.
Oh, that was a great response. That response is what wins playoff games, at least from we would watch for like 10 years of missing the playoffs. Like those sort of responses are important. And then, of course, just putting like I mentioned last night, keep the crowd out of the game. What did we do? We kept the crowd out of the game. And, the whole thing with Profar, I mean, I think it's because of the whole Mr. Irrelevant. The fans, like, they knew about it. And then, of course, Dodger fans, those Dodger fans being Dodger fans, too much drink. I mean, throwing a baseball, getting a baseball thrown at you at like maybe 20 miles an hour, it hurts. It's going to hurt. But I mean, when it's like over 50 or however hot it was and it hits them in the head, I mean, it could get him out of the game. So it's like we if that hit Profar, we lose a player because of a fan, and then at that point, that's just. I mean, then what are they gonna have to do? No balls in the no. What is it? Warm up hit balls into the fan to the stands after an inning. Then So, but that kind of incident, it reminded me of the Game 6 a little bit. Game 6 of the 2004 ALCS when Yankees fans were throwing stuff on the field, and I thought LAPD was going to come in, but I guess they're not. They don't have a presence over there for some reason. And then, of course, in the wild card game in 2012, when fans started throwing stuff on the field because the infield fly rule was called, even though technically it wasn't. I don't know if you remember that in 2012, but vividly.
So what I would say is it's not just because you're thinking of those moments, and yeah, those are good moments. Remember, this wasn't the first time this happened to Jurickson. This happened in San Francisco, I believe, last year maybe, or a couple years ago. They were throwing things at Jurickson there. I remember that.
I don't remember that.
I had to stop that. I don't know if that was 2021, maybe even that far back, or 2022, but maybe someone in the chat remembers, but I'll have to go find it, maybe post it again. But yeah, that was not just the first time that he's dealt with it. And then the MLB Network interview about how he thought that maybe they were going to do it yesterday, but the Dodgers fans didn't because they were winning. It's just Dodger fans, they dish it out, but then some can't take it. And then when the team's losing, they don't know what to do with themselves, and they need to insert themselves in the situation. And yeah, they love making it about themselves. I'll tell you that. And
yeah, but, I mean, being a Padre fan since the early 90s, I can definitely agree with you on that. And then, okay, so a couple other things before, you get to the next person, if my ADHD can remember. So I feel like we have to win the next two because I do not want to go back to Dodger Stadium. I don't think any of us do. I feel like if we even let them win one game in San Diego, that's just their momentum, because they're probably pissed off. They got blown out, but they're a little. I feel like the teams, they can fight back, but I mean, at the same time, we can't allow one little bit. And I feel that Mookie Betts, I mean, he looks bored. He looks bored or he's unhappy. And, I think that's just, it's going to get that got to his head where Profar caught that, like, oh, great. What do I got to do to get on base? But at the same time, he's a guy that could just erupt at any moment. So I would rather keep him for whatever. Same with Freeman. And then, of course, we kept Ohtani in check. Well, yeah, Darvish did. Darvish was just phenomenal. And that's the kind of postseason pitching we need. And hint, cease. So lastly, two things. I don't remember. The Padres have never hit 6 home runs in a game. I think we hit 5 in 2020.
Yeah. They had a graphic up. This was like the most homers that they've hit in a postseason game. They had the Phillies up there too. So I don't know if this was in a postseason game ever, or wasn't this postseason. The Phillies, I don't think they've homered in 5. They might have been. I remember 2022 they hit a bunch of homers. The Phillies did. So I don't know those games, but then, 6 homers. Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah. And then lastly, I don't remember the last time the Padres scored double digits in the playoffs. I mean, I know we ran up double digits a few times, unfortunately in 2020, but I don't remember us scoring 10 runs.
Yeah, I don't either. That's
amazing.
I know like they had a couple homers the 2020 wild card. They probably got up to like 7, something like that. It was pretty high, I would assume. But 10 runs. Unless I'm totally blanking on a game. Yeah, I don't remember 10 runs. That's insane. When you're facing the Dodgers too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you I'm gonna get going so you can get to the next guy. But thank you for having me. Go Padres. Hopefully see you Tuesday.
Yeah. Thank you, Diego. Yeah, for sure. Yep. I'm planning on going on Tuesday. That I can't wait. Yeah. Hopefully that's going to be the game that puts the Padres one game away from going to the NLCS. That Mets-Phillies series, my goodness, that thing's entertaining as well. This NLDS, going into it, I thought this was going to be, get your popcorn ready. But Mets-Phillies, holy cow, today, back and forth. The Mets, they take the lead. The Phillies come back, Bryson Stott, and then Mark Vientos with the homer late. And then the Phillies, they end up not really pitching to Bryce, and he ends up walking. Trey Turner's on base, obviously, so all they need is a hit. And then Castellanos comes through. which I understood them facing Castellanos over Harper, obviously. But yeah, electric. The two most electric playoff atmospheres, I think, are Philly and San Diego. And we could be lining up for another 2022 NLCS rematch. But if the Mets do pull off this upset, and it would be an upset, and the Padres win the NLDS, they would get to host. They would get the home field advantage for that series in the NLCS. So maybe some fans are rooting for the Phillies because they want that like revenge. But I think there's a lot of fans that are going to be rooting for the Mets here for that home field. And because it feels like the Mets would be the better matchup. I mean, Zach Wheeler is nasty. He did not deserve to lose game 1 yesterday. That's for sure. All right, I'm going to get to the chat. I have had social media up, just seeing if there's been any quotes or anything that has come out on some Padres quotes. Bob Nightingale tweeted, Padres pitcher Yu Darvish, when asked what Manny Machado said during their impromptu team meeting, some dirty words here and there. So there you go, which isn't surprising. When you're heated like that, yeah, the dirty words are going to come out. Tatis says of the relationship with Dodger fans, wild. It's definitely wild here. And then Padres manager Mike Schilt, this is via Bob Nightingale. If it'll load. Here it is. On their emotional victory, a hostile environment, what I got out of it was a bunch of dudes that showed up in front of a big hostile crowd with stuff being thrown at them and said, we're going to talk with our play. We're not going to back down. We're going to elevate our game. We're going to be together, and we're going to take care of business. Take care of business. That is definitely what they did here on this great Sunday night. That's for sure. The main partner of the show, Gaglione Bros. If you're going game 3 or 4, they're going to be at Petco Park down the third baseline. Cheesesteaks, cheesesteak fries, garlic fries, regular. They've got a lot of great stuff there. So check them out. Gaglione Bros. Main location is on Friars Road, but also they're inside Petco Park, inside Snapdragon Stadium as well for Aztecs fans. San Diego State was able to get a win, so that was good to see last night. Breaking Tea, they've got Padres and Aztecs shirts and sweatshirts. Click the link in the description. I would probably be looking out for another Padres shirt here coming up in the next couple days based on what happened here tonight. I don't know what they're cooking up. I've made some suggestions, so we'll see. Underdog, 50% deposit match up to $1,000. Click that link in the description. There's great pick'ems, obviously with the WNBA playoffs. There's the NFL, college football, college basketball is going to start here, I think, in November. NBA is going to be starting. Obviously, MLB postseason. The AL2 games there, they're going to be in action tomorrow. And then the NL games are back coming up on Tuesday. Phillies Mets is first. And then obviously with the Padres and the Dodgers, that's going to be, I think, a little bit after 6 o'clock. Both games 3 and 4. We do know there will be a game 4 because the Padres obviously tied up this series at 1. So yeah, use Underdog to your advantage there with that code that I gave you, Talking Friars. And then SeatGeek. If you can't get into Petco Park through Ticketmaster, through season tickets, whatever, maybe use SeatGeek. Try SeatGeek, $20 off your first order there. Code, again, Talking Friars. Maybe there's going to be some seats there that you could go get if you want to get inside the building for Padres, Dodgers, NLDS, Game 3 or Game 4. Game 3 on Tuesday, Game 4 coming up on Wednesday, I believe. Michael King, Game 3, and then Martin Perez, probably Game 4. I'm expecting it to be Walker Buehler coming up in Game 3. But the Dodgers, they might switch Buehler if they want their better starter in Game 4, seeing that Michael King's lined up Game 3. So maybe they'd rather switch it. And they just hope and pray that they win Game 3 somehow. And then they'd have Walker Buehler for Game 4. But as of now, the latest that I've seen, I think it's Walker Buehler Game 3 with Landon Knack for Game 4, which I would give the Padres the advantage there because it really comes down to bullpens. And I like the Padres bullpen depth. And Martin Perez, he's had some pretty solid outings for the Padres this year as well. I think he's outperformed expectations for sure. All right, let's get to the chat here. There's a lot of people, obviously, in the chat, so I appreciate each and every one of you that have showed up here. LFGSD, Dodgers got an A-whooping Yes, they did. LFGSD. Dane says, way to show out. Dylan says, congrats on your NLDS win, Padres. I'm back. I am crying. Jason, Gold Gloves in the outfield. Yeah, some really good plays defensively for this Padres team tonight. Profar, obviously, with the catch of the year, probably the best catch in postseason history for the Padres. That has to be one of the catches in just postseason history, period. There's probably some better catches in terms of like the situation, like to save a game. But to make a catch like that, Padres, Dodgers, you rob Mookie Betts, the name of the homer, right? I mean, it wasn't just he jumped up, short wall at Dodger State. He didn't just jump up and, oh, I caught it. He went into the state. That's literally robbing a home run. He took it away as much as you could. Full extension. Sure, he didn't go into the crowd, but pretty much as full extension as he could go without going into the crowd. The still shots, by the way, the thumbnail obviously on YouTube, I thought that was a great shot the Padres had. Because Matt Thomas, their photographer, he, I believe, was stationed by the Padres dugout. So, he had the perfect view of the one Padre fan there being ecstatic when Profar made the catch. And then all the Dodger fans, there were some that thought that was gone. But then most people there were like, oh, crap, he caught that ball. I love that one Dodger fan reaction where he wasn't flipping Profar off or anything like that. He was like, no, man, you got it. That was a good catch, man. All right, respect you. Because the fan, he was catching. He made the motion as if he was going to catch it because he was preparing for that, obviously. And then Profar caught it, and he still was making the motion, expecting the ball to come down. And then he realized, oh crap, the ball's in his glove, and he's jumping up and down, trolling me. He took it well. He was a good sport there. That was hilarious. The Padres embracing the villain role at Dodger Stadium. I am here for that. That was funny to watch. Obviously, when it got to Dodger fans throwing stuff, that's when it's not funny anymore. But when it's Tatis in the dugout at Dodger fans, whining. And I think when he was in right field, he was making fake tears. Tatis has been so good at that, just embracing it. Obviously, it started with the whole suspension, and then he comes back, and then there's the fake steroid blow up that gets thrown on the field. But he's just embraced it so well, I think. You can't go back. You can't change what happened. You can just move forward and, be a good sport about it. And it's entertainment. And man, is he entertaining us. With the 2 homers tonight, the good running play, the Dodger fan interactions. That's hilarious. Let's see. Dylan says Dodger fans are complete clowns. Some of them. I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying all Dodger fans, but yes, some of them, embarrassing. Someone says here, I have season tickets, so I will be at both games Tuesday and Wednesday, but all of this was the offense, but especially you, Darvish. Let's give him a hand. Yes, let's give him a hand. He deserves it. For sure. Again, I'll read his line here. 7 innings, 1 earned run, just 5 base runners, 2 walks, and 3 hits that he allowed. Incredible. After all the high leverage guys except Suarez had to be used yesterday, and it's game 2. It felt like a must-win game. And boy, did he deliver. Delivered big time. Because there was questions about Darvish. Obviously, that last outing against Arizona, some of these other outings, some of the big outings. Now, Dodgers, Braves, I was talking on the pregame, he dominated in those outings. But then when he faces the Yankees, he got absolutely tattooed. Stanton, Soto, and Judge hit homers off of him. I remember that well. I was sitting in the stands. That sucked. So there was a question of which Darvish were we going to get tonight. Turns out we got the Dodgers were trying to be aggressive. Darvish was like, yeah, come be aggressive. I'll pitch to contact. I don't care how many strikeouts I have. I'm going to be as efficient as I can. And he was efficient, and he gets 7 innings out. As I was seeing those tweets of Darvish is back out for the 6th, he's back out for the 7th, Ohtani's up, he's still pitching, he's facing Ohtani for a 3rd time. Wow, okay, Mike Schilt. All right, you got a lot of faith in Darvish right now, and trust Mike Schilt. I don't agree still with what happened, everything that happened last night, but he played it well tonight for sure. Just having that trust in you, Darvish. By the way, I've got my I love you breaking t-shirt on right now. I don't think you can see it, but here it is. Gotta rep it. Gotta rep it. I love seeing Joe in the dugout, by the way, pumped up. That was cool. Obviously sucks that he's going to be out for the year. I'm talking about this year and next year. But yeah, seeing Joe still in the dugout like that with the team and still getting pumped up, it warms my heart there. All right. For anyone asking to join the show, click the link pinned up at the top of the YouTube live stream. That's how you can join the show. I think Robert, if you haven't joined the show already, you can join that way. Says, love you, listen to you every day at work. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, John Boy's breakdown. That's going to be a must watch coming up here. He does a great job on that. Let's see here. David says, hopefully Xander is okay. Yeah, it seems like it's okay. I mean, they'll know more tomorrow, but what I saw, the update there was that it was a hamstring cramp. Sorry, I just saw something on social media. It's just Padre fans trolling on social media. Okay. I thought it was actually a real quote. Sorry. I was going to bring it up, but I'm not going to now. No Dodgers fans in here tonight. No, there's some that have still shown up, but hopefully they're not going to be talking very much the next few days. John says the name is Jackson Merrill. Remember it. Yeah. Oh, Dodger fans will remember that name. They'll remember Jurickson Profar, Tatis, the owner of Dodger Stadium. Yep. Is that true? Betts is 0 for 11 in these two games. Tonight he went 0 for 4. Freddie Freeman, by the way, I don't think that's something that I've touched on. He had to exit this game early with that ankle. So that must be pretty bad for him. There's an off day tomorrow, and for him to be leaving a game when they could go up 2-0 in that game, yeah, it must be pretty darn bad. But that was the question, right? It's one thing to rehab. You're not playing in a game. You're not going 100% effort and be ready for game one. But it's a whole nother thing to go full effort in game one. You try to go, you go steal second base when that probably wasn't the best decision. I respect the effort and I respect the answer that he gave to Ken Rosenthal when asked about it and about respecting the game. I understand that. I respect that. But, well, he it seems like he paid the price. And it's another thing, again, like from rehabbing and then playing game one to you go all out in game one to you have less than 24 hours to rehab. You're not rehab, but you know what I'm saying. Get ready, get ramped up, get that ankle worked on to be ready for game two and have to bring it again. It's different. So I was a little surprised when he came out because if he was in the lineup, I just thought he was going to be in there the whole game. And yes, everyone knows I hate the Dodgers. I'm not a big fan of their fans, obviously. But I do respect Freddie Freeman and what he's going through. That's a 4 or 5 week ankle sprain injury that usually it takes to come back from. And he's doing that in a week. So I definitely respect guys that are fighting through stuff. I obviously respect the heck out of Joe Musgrove, when he gives up one run on a national stage in a serious clinching game to move on to the Dodgers with a torn UCL. Like, I respect that. I respect when guys are like, my job is to go out there and play, and I'm going to play through this. This pain, okay, it's temporary. I'm going to go out there and play. This city needs me. These fans spend a lot of money. They spend a lot of time and a lot of effort to come watch us play. So I am not going to sit here and be like, no, it hurts. Oh, I have a boo-boo. I'm not going to play. No, these guys fight through it. So I respect everyone that does that. I don't care if they're a Dodger, what team they're on. I can respect that. Let's see here. Brady says, yes, finish on Wednesday. Albert says, business as usual, gentlemen, Friar faithful. Yeah, and those that gave up on the Padres last night, because I saw that on social media, like, it's over. I saw plenty of those. Stay off. Don't come back on. Stay off. It's about winning for the faithful. This is the postseason. If you were going to give up on this Padres team after one playoff game, after the season that we've seen and how many comebacks they've had and how many games they bounced back after a loss, I don't know what to tell you. Stay off. Stay off. You gave up, stay off. One loss to the Dodgers on the road when some weird things happened that weren't going to happen again, you can stay off. Stay off the wagon. All right, let's continue here. Julio says, videos on Twitter of Dodgers fans fighting each other again. Shocker. Not. Dodger fans really have no class. I'm hoping we don't stoop to their level on Tuesday. Yeah, please don't do that. Anyone that's at Petco tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Tuesday, yeah, don't stoop down to that level. Don't even think about throwing anything onto the field. Don't say hateful things to Dodger players. You can boo them, right? Obviously, make it a home field advantage, but don't stoop down to that level for sure. Yeah. Listen to what Profar said earlier. If you were here during that MLB Network interview that I played, follow what Profar said. Don't throw things on the field. Don't do that. I do notice that there's a whole lot less Dodger fans in here though. So yeah, where'd they go? They're sitting in traffic. Actually, no, they're probably home because they all left pretty early. Yeah, anyone that throws things on the field, they probably should be banned from the stadium, to be honest, not just the game. Brady says, complete team win, offense, defense, they got each other's backs for sure. Yeah, pitching was great. Darvish obviously stood up, stud. And then the offense, they added on late. It wasn't just, okay, we're going to score some runs here early, 3 runs, and then we're not going to do anything. Because that did happen. That has happened in the postseason so far. Kevin Acey's Padres Daily newsletter, I was reading that earlier today, and the splits against the relievers, it was bad in the postseason so far. It was like under 200, not great. But they score 7 runs, 6 inning, and later tonight. So great job from them. Continuing to go through the chat here. Seeing anything I want to bring up? We have Yankees fans in here? Yeah, what a game. What a freaking entertaining game that was. I mean, every game. Every game of the postseason so far for the Padres. I know they lost yesterday, but it was still an entertaining game. It was a long game. It was close. All right. Any more comments to get to here? And he says, I'm just here to see if the Dodgers fans from last night is on here because they were talking S last night on here. Yeah. There was a lot of them. Seems real quiet now. That's right. How about them Padres? Would I trade Cronenworth for a bucket of batting practice balls? Okay. I get fans if they're frustrated with Crony offensively. He didn't do anything, I don't think, tonight, right? I know he struck out a couple times. Let me double check that. 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Yeah. He hasn't gotten a hit this postseason. But all it takes is him to come back to Petco and come up with a huge hit, and pretty much all is forgiven, right? Because when you think about it, it's 1-1. It's a best-of-3 series now. And he comes up with a big hit and the Padres move on. He helped this team big in them advancing and going on to the NLCS. It is a team. It takes those 26 guys. Brandon Lockridge, Tyler Wade, are they going to come up big in a spot, as a pinch runner at some point? Yeah, it's not looking great. And there's a reason why Crony's down at the bottom of the order. I'm not saying you should move him up. No doubt. I get it. He would say the same thing. But no, I'm not trading him for anything right now, actually, because he's still bringing value defensively to this Padres team. And if you're going to complain about Crony tonight when they just dropped 10 runs on the Dodgers, you're just trying to find something to complain about, right? I think we should be happy after tonight. I don't think we should be like, oh, let's point out Jake Cronenworth and would you trade him for a bucket of balls? I'm not trying to avoid Jake Cronenworth and him struggling. Yeah, he's struggling. Doesn't have a hit. Needs to be better. But for anyone that is totally giving up on Cronenworth or wants someone else to be in there playing second base over Cronenworth, I think that's too far. You can be critical of him. Totally understand that. But he still provides value defensively at second base. And I'm not trading that for someone else to come. I don't want Tyler Wade out there starting. With all due respect to him, I'd rather have Jake Cronenworth out there at second base than Tyler Wade or Nick Ahmed's not on the roster. But you get my point. Another infielder. Arise at second, Solano at first, Peralta DHing. That would, I guess that would be the other combination. But no, I'm still going with Crony. I still believe that he's going to come up at some point in this series. I do believe that. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was see, Coach Lee, you don't have your actual name on here, so I just see you as another fan and forget that that's you. No, I would not trade him for a bucket of batting practice balls. But what I will say is that, and Coach Lee, by the way, for anyone, he was my high school coach. Funny guy. He texted me today during this game as the whole them throwing stuff on the field was happening, saying in quotes, "It's not a rivalry, but we throw S at your players." And that's a good way to put it. That's a really good way to put it. Like, yeah, yeah, it's definitely a rivalry. We, Dodger fans, you don't have to hide from that anymore. It's okay. I know that you guys think that you're the best thing ever, but you're not. It's okay. And it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to continue to be a fight. I don't want to sit here and be like, the series is over. The Padres are going to blow out the Dodgers the rest of the series. I don't know if they're going to win the next 2 games. They could split. But my point is, this is an entirely new series. It's crazy what 24 hours can do to a fan watching these postseason games, right? Where last night it's like, oh man, tomorrow, huge game. Now, game 3 obviously is too, but huge game, must-win game, game 2. And then game 2 comes along and it's like, oh, we got the Dodgers where we want them. We got Michael King in game 3. We're coming back home. This is like 2022, where they were able to split. They won game 2, different circumstance, different score, and but they won game 2. They found a way, and now it's a split series. They did their job. Split the 2 games at Dodger Stadium, right? Do that. Do it on the road, postseason series. That's what you want to do. They did that. Now they get to come back home, and they have the home field advantage. And they could clinch it coming up on Wednesday, or it could go back to Dodger Stadium for a game 5. But the Dodgers now, I think that they're feeling that pressure now because they're like, oh, we're not at Dodger Stadium anymore. We're not going to be in this comfortable place anymore. And we're going to have to go face Michael King with a loud crowd in game 3. That's not a spot I'd want to be in. So we'll see what happens there. Do I think we have a shot with King pitching? Yeah, I think we got a shot. I think we should be the favorites going into game 3 to win game 3, is what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, we should probably be the favorites to win the series, to be honest. I think we're the better team. But I understand why, like, the Dodgers are the betting favorites still. Enrique asked, will benches be cleared? I hope not. I really hope not. Now, I get that's entertaining for fans, but I do want to keep it about the game. And if benches clear, yes, that it's probably still about the game, something that happened in the game. And I know there was jawing back and forth, and shocker, Dodgers fans cheering when Tatis got hit today. That shows who they are as well. I did want to mention that. Didn't want to forget that one. I just hope that, no, it's just baseball. It's good, competitive, back and forth baseball. It's entertaining when bench is clear, but then ejections could happen as well. Injuries could happen, and I don't want that to happen. So I sure hope not. All right. I think that's going to do it. Over an hour. Talking Friars, episode 645, Padres, Dodgers, game 2. What a night that was, huh? Fun win, entertaining, fiery, and the Padres are back at it for game 3. I can't wait to be in the building for that. Game 3 coming up on Tuesday. Let's go. LFGSD. See ya.